So I took all sorts of shots because I had, for as much as the college football playoff committee had LSU at 10, and people were like, what is this? This makes no sense. It's complete LSU and SEC bias. I had LSU ranked number 8 before the Bama game. I said, this is a really good team. Put it all together. That's where I had them. I've got them up to 6 now. Obviously, it's all out in front of them, and they would be the first 2-loss team to make the playoff. But the SEC champion is not, in my opinion, going to get shut out of the college football playoff.
I agree. And to me, and as you pointed out in our last episode, I do have an SEC channel as well. You know, the most interesting thing, Mark, is going to be Tennessee in all of this, right? If you're Tennessee, this becomes a very weird situation, especially if LSU wins out and wins the SEC. Tennessee will be sitting there, hey, we blew the brakes off of this team in their building in a non-traditional, SEC non-cross division rival game. This is the most interesting race. It really is. The SEC has never been quite like this before, and man, I just love it. I freaking love the sport so much, Mark. I'm so freaking pumped up. And, for me, I actually, before this last week, I had UCLA ahead of LSU as well. I thought they were still a good one-loss team, and they had a tough loss versus Oregon. But now, LSU with one of the best wins in the SEC over Alabama this past weekend, it's hard to not, keep them up there. Honestly, they'll move ahead of Alabama, and obviously TCU is another interesting team. So look, Nostradamus, Mark, believing in LSU. I freaking love it. So yeah, I think if LSU wins out, I think they get in. I really do.
And then the College Football Playoff Committee has some serious issues on its hands because you look at the 3 in the SEC and you can't leave one of them out in favor of the other because they all have something else on the other team.
Yeah. And look, I don't know what's going to happen. I do think Georgia obviously separated themselves from everybody.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's just very strange, Mark, and I'll end on this, is for those that have not seen Jaden Daniels play, he's a very unorthodox quarterback in that he makes so many people miss. It is tough to get a good hit on him. And he is truly transcendent with the football in his hands. And I think of you think of all the great LSU skill guys, like Odell with the ball in his hands is special. Jamar Chase with the ball in his hands is special. Jaden is on their level when it comes to making people miss, extending plays. And if you go watch him, it's not really a vertical thing. He's like a slalom skier. It's a very unorthodox way. It's Lamar-esque, if you will, but even Lamar was a little bit more cut up the field than Jaden. He is such an interesting player. So especially when you juxtapose it with KJ Jefferson, who is basically a cam fullback. He's coming Tebow downhill at you. So it is so interesting. And then LSU is a very dangerous team right now.
LSU, just a 3-point pick by Vegas at Arkansas, should be interesting. Get on over to Carter's channel there, Power Hour LSU on YouTube. And again, the SEC channel. Where can we find that?
Power Hour SEC, man. I gotta chunk out more content on there. It's been so crazy, going to the game. And this was kind of strange. My phone died. I filmed the final play and then my phone just went out. It was so weird, Mark, being disconnected. It was kind of blissful, right? Do you ever just turn your phone off?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I don't have to film everything. I could just enjoy it, man. There's nothing like the sport, Mark. There's nothing freaking like it. Let's go.
Carter, appreciate it, man. I knew you were the guy to bring on here. I wanted to capture the moment as much as I could through you. And we will see what is in store for Brian Kelly and the boys the rest of the way. Thanks, Carter.
All right, buddy. Cheers.